Hi, my name is Max Diallo Jakobsen, and I am the inaugural recipient of the Southnord Residency Award in collaboration with Lusaka Contemporary Art Center. I am a researcher, writer, and historian who's really fascinated and interested in African history, particularly the eras of the 60s and the 70s, our independence periods. And particularly what that has led me to is to explore the cultural production that generated during that time period and that still exists today. So I have worked on a range of projects, some small-scale projects with art spaces in New York, with galleries in France, but I've also had the opportunity to work on larger museum projects, including a group exhibition at Fondation Quartier pour la Contemporaire in Paris. And in all of these projects, what I bring to it is just my love for research. I'm a huge historian nerd at heart, and when I get to delve into the career of an artist, the context from which they create their work, and especially if that artist themselves is really interested in sort of the historical grounding of their practice, even better. So that has allowed me to kind of come from a very research-focused background and then adapt that to curatorial projects. I never really anticipated working as a curator. I just stumbled into it through my love for art and art historical research. Well, the first thing is I was just so impressed by this new project. I think we need more opportunities for solidarity between art institutions and art spaces across the world. And to see a space like Southnord work together with Lusaka Contemporary Art Center and come together to create this unique project that I then am able to apply to was really exciting. So on the one hand, it was a way for me to enter into and start engaging with the Southnord family, and then also have this life-changing opportunity to travel to Lusaka, to travel to Southern Africa, a region I've never been to, and spend, a devoted amount of time studying and learning about the place and building bridges between Zambia, my home country of Guinea, and all the great work that Southnord is doing here in Sweden and in Scandinavia more broadly. So to me, it was really exciting to start envisioning how I might take this opportunity, make the most of it, and for someone with my unique background, Swedish Guinean, travel to Zambia and see what similarities there might be, what differences we might have. And in the research, in applying for this grant, I started realizing that Zambia and Guinea actually have very similar histories, both in terms of the political ambitions that were sort of spearheaded at independence in the 60s, and then also seeing what has happened after that in terms of the ideological differences, the state of the cultural industries and context in these respective countries. And so to me, this is an opportunity to have time to research those bridges between these places and potentially see what that might lead to. I think a lot of creatives with an African background sometimes feel like Sweden is not a place that they can live up their full potential. And for a long time, I think I held that within me. And so seeing a place like Southnord, a collective, a group of people come together to make really cool things happen right here in the Nordics, made me really excited and start reflecting about how I might see myself in this context again. And so applying to this program was a way for me to test out the waters of really, could I dip my toes back into this constellation, this context, and will they accept me back? And in this case, Southnord welcomed me with open arms, and I think that has been a really beautiful experience. It tells me that there is room for me to continue doing great stuff and coming back to Sweden and the Nordics and contributing here as well, in addition to my other projects elsewhere. And I also feel a level of an immense amount of privilege being the inaugural recipient of this award, because with any new projects that are being launched, you want to launch them and do something really great with it. And so it gives me pressure, but also I'm very excited to live up to the hopes and aspirations of everyone that has poured time and energy into launching this residency. And I'm really excited to make everyone proud and to live up to all the dreams we all share. The first thing is I am so excited to meet the Zambians. Like, I, in college, had a really dear friend, Mutemwa, who was from Zambia, and I was so enamored by his joyfulness, his ambition, and how welcoming he was to me. And I felt that Zambian spirit, and so I'm excited to see how that plays out in the country itself. And particularly, I think I'm curious to meet other historians, curators, visit artist studios, and start getting a feel for what's happening there, the incredible work that is being produced there. And at the same time, I'm hoping to bring in my own research that I've done in Guinea and across West Africa, bring that to Zambia, exchange with the people and see what might emerge. I have the blessing of being based at the Lusaka Contemporary Art Center, having studio space, having exhibition space, and so with that I'm incredibly excited to see things that I might come up with while I'm there, and be able to share a little bit of Guinea with Zambia, and also take some of Zambia back with me.